right, we are live at CSCMP Edge. 2023 is the year, and we're here in Florida, in Orlando, and we are being hosted, and we are in the Motion2AI booth. Motion2AI, good friends of the podcast, have been on before, great supporters as well, and great technology too. So to kick it off for the live, we have JT Zywicki. He is sales, right, for Motion2AI?
Senior account executive for Motion2AI.
Senior account executive, right? So tell us a little bit about Motion2AI and kind of the technology that you guys have and what you're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah, so really what we provide, our technology is an IoT device that we can install onto really any kind of forklift, any make or model. Mm-hmm. We just need a power source. It has camera built into it, along with an additional camera that we install to provide essentially 360-degree view.
Right.
But what we're doing is it's telematics and AI combined, helping collect data and provide it in dashboards, KPIs that help shed some light on productivity metrics, utilization, and then a big one for a lot of folks is safety as well.
Yeah, safety is definitely a huge one. And I think, can we see it? It's in the booth here, right?
Yeah, it's actually on.
Alyssa, yeah.
Let me bring that over.
Yeah, let's see it. Very simple device, very easy install, right? So talk us through it a little bit. Like, what are we looking at here?
This is the main device. It's got that fisheye camera lens here built into it. That's going to provide one view, and then the other camera is over there as well. But this can go really on any sort of make, any type of equipment, anything that's got power to it. Really. Right. And we just connect into the power, and from there we're also mapping the sites, the warehouses that we're installing into. So real-time visibility.
So as the equipment's moving, it's mapping everything, capturing that data.
Absolutely.
Right?
You can log in, see what everybody's doing at one time, but then also go back historically and see what those movements were, how the forklifts were actually being utilized, and then also what they're doing in the warehouse, where these areas are being affected the most. Yeah. And then also being proactive with safety. So this kit has audible alerts built into it as well. Okay. So drivers, if there's certain activities that we can set thresholds to, they'll get alerts if it's harsh driving or before they hit something or another vehicle. Yeah.
Interesting. And so obviously the camera, and it's easy setup, right? I think it's like 15-minute install, if I remember.
Yeah, that's one of the, I guess, paths to a differentiator for us as well, is being able to install these quickly and easily, and not having to, have a whole long-term project to get these in there. It takes 15-20 minutes to get these hooked up onto the actual forklift, and then we can map a warehouse in a day or two depending on the size.
Oh wow, very nice. And now, so obviously, I mean, the camera, and we talked about the mapping is capturing, the motion, right? Yep. Part of Motion2AI. Now talk to us about, and obviously this is a huge topic, hot topic within the industry, I mean, all industries at this point, right? Tell us how you're leveraging that AI portion.
Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunity to continue to grow with the product and do a lot more things in the warehouse because of that AI component. But a lot of it is also telematics. So this vision-based camera system and AI platform gives us the path to affect warehouses and create efficiencies outside of what we have today, essentially. But it's once we install it on there, it's learning, by site, what those processes are and how can we add value with the vision-based. Is it, is there an opportunity to do more with recognition of pallets? Is there an opportunity as is to affect productivity with just the data that we can collect within the warehouse?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very interesting too because, I think AI really is coming into play, and especially in our industry, it's really helping that warehouse manager, warehouse supervisor kind of take their job to the next level and have better insights. So tell us, I guess, in that sense, if I'm a warehouse manager, operator, I bring Motion2AI into my fleet and my systems, what does my day-to-day look like, or how does that change and improve?
Yeah, I think that's working with a lot of managers and supervisors too has been key in being able to learn what the processes are today, but then also how can we affect more efficiencies. So a lot of it too comes into play with when we're talking about safety, being able to create training programs based off of the data we're collecting, and then how can they do their jobs better to create safer environments, and also maximize and optimize the productivity and the movements of the forklifts.
Yeah. I think that's such a great thing. It's such a great way that AI can be leveraged in those scenarios, because traditionally, if you would try to capture that data in just a manual sense and try and process through spreadsheets and things like that, I mean, realistically, you would never get there, right? So
we've seen too, especially when working with the people who are on the floor every day. Instead of having to spend hours going through whether they're on a paper system or they have some sort of technology today as well, being able to get them this information so they can act quicker and create efficiencies faster. With AI and this data.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's such a huge leap. And I think, people are worried about AI taking jobs and things like that. And I think it's only going to improve. I think it's kind of it's almost the same conversation we were having, a few years ago about robots, and there's some robots dancing right next to us here. But, about robots taking jobs, but really they're just kind of empowering people to be more productive, make better decisions, and reduce kind of that work that it's not really interesting. People don't necessarily want to do anyway, right?
Right, exactly. And that's, it's not necessarily about replacing people, because we're putting this on the equipment they use anyways. It's just about giving them the tool to do their jobs better and more efficiently and safer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious too, some of the customers that you have now, what have been some of the big improvements or big wins that they've found by implementing Motion2AI?
So the main areas, it's definitely going to be in that productivity, utilization, and safety categories. But I think there's additional value adds there that from our customers, what I've heard is, if you're dealing with claims or even chargebacks, being able to come in and actually have video evidence of how the pallet was loaded and received has been an extreme value add in a lot of cases. And then from there, it's productivity increases and utilization visibility. So being able to understand when your equipment's being used, when it isn't. We've seen 20% increases in productivity with the use of the equipment. And when it comes to safety, on average, we see about 70% reduction in just overall incidents. And of course, those
huge.
big ones can be detrimental, but it's also about those little ones that add wear and tear if they're bumping into things, racks or shelves, and
oftentimes go unreported.
Little dings,
traditionally.
The unreported incidents that can add up over time.
Yeah, absolutely. So very interesting stuff with JT and Motion2AI. I think is a great technology. It's really interesting, super simple, which I think is much needed for an AI-based system for people to start to digest and wrap their heads around. And really, I think addressing challenges that are necessary to improve your operation overall and efficiency. So really, really interesting stuff, and definitely curious to continue to watch what you guys continue to evolve and do with the technology.
Yeah, it's exciting. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. We're at your booth, man. Yeah.
You got it.